Good morning, everybody. Mr. Kennedy here. Today, we're going to be learning how to draw a minion.
All right, my friends. So to get started today with our minion, the first thing we're going to do in the middle of our paper here is we're going to make a nice big oval going up and down. And if you have trouble drawing your oval, try thinking of it as drawing the top half of a circle, making two lines that go straight down, and then making the bottom half of a circle. And don't worry about getting your lines perfectly straight or round. We are going to be changing some of these lines later, so don't worry about that. All right, and we also want to make sure we're drawing nice and lightly today. That way when we go to erase some of our pencil lines later, or if we make a mistake, it'll be a lot easier for us. All right, so again, I have a nice big oval in the middle of my paper to get started with. The first thing I like to do is I like to draw the eye for my minion. So at home, you're gonna have a choice. You can give your minion one eye, like I'm gonna give my minion one eye, or you can give your minion two eyes. And what I'll do is I'll show how to draw the two eyes over here in the top right corner. But for one eye, I'm gonna start with a nice big circle in the top half of my oval. Again, I want to make sure I'm making this circle nice and big because we're going to do a lot more lines inside of it. So that's what it'll look like if I'm doing one eye. But if I'm going to do two eyes, it's going to look a little different. I'm going to instead, it's going to look like I'm starting with the circle, but instead it's going to look more like a big letter C because I'm not connecting the side of my circle. Now, right where these lines end, I'm going to make another circle, or a C shape, but backwards to connect them. So it's going to look almost like a big letter 8 that fell over. All right, so that's how I would start it if I'm doing two eyes. One eye, two eyes. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to put a little ring inside of my circle. This is going to be for the little goggle he wears, or she wears. Because your minion can be either a boy or a girl. And for the two-eye version, I'm going to do a line very similar to the kind of figure 8 line that I just drew. So I'm just kind of making another circle shape next to it, but again, I'm not connecting them. Oh, actually, yes I am. Sorry about that. Inside, I'm actually going to connect them now for his goggles. So it should be two big circles, one on both sides of that figure 8. Now, inside of our smaller circle now, I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to make one smaller circle. This is going to be for the actual eyeball. And then inside there, I'm going to make a really tiny one that we'll eventually color in black. And for the two eyes, I'm just going to do that in both circles. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make two little curved lines in the top and bottom part of my circle. Now it's just going to be a little curved line to show a little bit of his eyelid, or her eyelid. So it's just a little curved line that's connecting from one side to the other of that circle that we drew inside. And for doing it on two eyes, I need to make sure I do that for both of my eyes. So I should have something that looks kind of like that for two eyes. And for here, it'd be just the one eye. All right. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to finish making the headband for his goggles, or her goggles. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make two lines on the left side that are just going to go straight to the edge of his head. Now once they get to the edge of his head like that, I'm going to make what's going to look like a little number 3, a weird number 3 to connect the top and bottom line. And you'll notice it's sticking outside of my oval now. And I can even erase that little bit of line that's separating them. Now I'm going to do that same thing on the other side. So again, I'm drawing two lines that go straight out to the side of my head. And then on the outside of the head, I'm drawing what's now going to be a backwards number 3 to connect the top and bottom lines. Then again, I can erase that tiny little bit that's separating those two parts of the headband. All right, next, I like to make my minion smiling, so I'm under about a finger length underneath the his goggles. I'm gonna make a little smile line for his mouth. But your minion doesn't have to be smiling. He can be frowning or making a mean face. It's totally up to you. All right, so this is the top half of my minion so far. Next, let's work on his or her overalls, which are the clothes they wear. So the first thing I'm gonna do right underneath my mouth is I'm gonna draw a straight line. And you'll notice this line isn't touching either side of my minion. It's staying kind of right in the middle of him or her. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna draw a line from the corner, the end of this middle line, that's gonna go up and to the side of my minion. So one line on the right will go up and to the right. On the left, we're gonna go up and to the left. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna bring it down underneath that line just a little bit. Let's make a line going diagonally down. And then another one, just like we drew for the top, they'll go right up to the side of him. And then again, kind of like what we did for his goggles, we're just gonna make a little bump to connect them. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So a little line going down diagonally, and then again, we're just gonna bring this line up, and then we're gonna do a little bump outside of his body to connect it. Oh, and then there's a little button. So I'm just gonna make a little black circle at the very end of what's gonna look like, should look like these two diagonal rectangles. Now, on the other side of my rectangle, kind of almost imagining this is a square for the top of his overalls, I'm gonna make a line that's gonna come down. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I don't want it to go down too far though. So I'm just gonna stop it right here. From there, I'm gonna do a little line that's gonna come over to the side of my minion, but I want it to curve down just a little bit, almost like I'm making a side frown line. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, but this time my angle is gonna go in the opposite direction. Just like that. Our minion has two little pockets, so right underneath where we made this kind of curve line, I'm gonna make a line that's gonna go in the opposite direction, almost like an upside down and backwards letter R. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Again, this is for my minion's pockets. All right, next, our minion does have a pocket in the middle of their overalls. So right in the middle of kind of this, almost like this rectangle shape, I'm gonna start with just one straight line. Now underneath this line, I'm gonna make a big letter U to connect it. Now inside of this little shape of our pocket, there is a little design. So first we're gonna draw a little circle for the shape of that design. Now inside of this circle, there is a little letter G. It's a kind of a weird looking G. So we're gonna start by drawing kind of like a diamond. So I'm gonna draw a line that's connecting the top and the left side of my circle. Now I'm gonna connect that left side of my circle to the bottom middle. Let's take it from the bottom middle to the right side, the middle of the right side. And then again, we're gonna do the same thing on the top, but this time, we're not gonna make this top line touch the bottom. Instead, right before it, let's bring it over. Let's bring it back up. And it's almost like I'm following the lines I made before. I'm just gonna make almost like another little diamond with a little line in the middle. Now later when we go to color this, the G shape will be left white or blue, while we color the rest of it around it black. All right, we're almost there. We just need to do our minion's feet. and arms. So let's start with our minion's feet first. So the first thing I'm going to do right on the bottom of my minion on the left side is I'm going to draw a little, almost like a stretched out letter U shape. And let's do another one right next to it on the right hand side for his right leg or her right leg. One thing I'm also going to do is I'm going to erase this little bit of line that's separating my leg from the bottom of his body or her body. All right, so now let's start with the left foot first. So on the left hand side of that U shape, not right on the corner, but inwards a little bit, where it starts to flatten out, I'm gonna make a line that's gonna curve down, just like that. Now from here, I'm gonna bring my line over. Now, when it starts to get in the middle of this U shape I made, I'm gonna make a little upside down V. Now from the back of my V, I'm gonna make a straight line, a very small straight line, and then I'm just gonna curve it back up into the bottom of my pants. And now let's do the same thing on the other side. So again, starting with the right leg, the right hand side, let's draw a line that's gonna come out to the right and down. Let's now bring this line over, and when we start to get to the middle of that U shape, we're gonna make a little upside down letter V. Let's give a little straight line, and then curve it back up into the bottom of his leg, just like that, or her leg, I should say. All right, we're almost done. Now we just need to give our minion some arms. Now how you choose to do your arms is up to you. I'm gonna have one arm go down and one arm go up. But if you want both going down or both going up, that is okay. So for the arm going down, I'm gonna, well, really for both of my arms, so we're gonna start them right underneath where we made these straps on the overalls. So right underneath that, I'm gonna make, and you'll notice this line is starting inside the body, not on the edge, but inside of it. I'm gonna make a line that curves down a little bit. And our minions have very long arms. So don't worry about making them too long, but we want them to stop right about, right before it gets to where we made the legs. I'm gonna make a little line that's gonna come over, and then I'm gonna follow it back up, almost like I'm copying the line I drew before. And again, I'm gonna bring it right into his body or her body. And then I'll just erase that little bit of body line that's in between the arm to make it look a little bit more realistic. All right, we're almost done. Let's give him his glove or her glove. So what I'm gonna do, we have a line that's going to connecting these two lines for the arm. On the left side, I'm gonna make that line come out a little bit, and I'm gonna wrap it up, almost like I'm making a sideways letter N that's going up on the side of his arm. And this is gonna be for part of the loop on the glove. So I'm just gonna color that little part black. Now, I'm gonna bring the left and right side of this glove down. And now one thing to keep in mind is minions only have 3 fingers. So this hand, we're gonna do, really just gonna draw 3 little bumps because it's kind of in the shape of a fist. So I'm gonna just draw one loop. Let's draw a second one that's a little bit bigger. And then let's draw a third one right there. That's pretty much all we're gonna do for this arm, or for this hand. Now for our arm that is going up. Again, we're gonna start it right underneath where we did that overall. So again, I'm starting this line inside the body. This one will go up, and I'm gonna bring this one up right about to where his headband is. Again, we'll make a little line that comes over, and then we'll bring that line back down, kind of following the shape of the line we drew before, and back into the body. Again, we can erase this a little bit. All right, now, so again, we have this line connecting both sides of the arm. Now again, we're gonna make a little loop that's gonna come out on the right-hand side now, and down. Again, this is for that same little a loop on his glove to show it's a little bit thicker than his hand. Now again, let's bring both sides up just a little bit. And now again, we need 3 bumps. So let's start with our first one for the thumb. 2, 3. Just like that. And we'll curve it back into the bottom of the glove. And like that, we have our basic minion. Now we're ready to trace, erase, and color. If you would like, you can pause the video here at home to match the same colors, but you do not have to.
I hope you guys all had fun drawing a minion with me today. I hope you guys stay safe, you keep drawing, and I'll see you next time.